Christmas says to me. It weaves the charm.
It casts a spell. It sheds a warmth I cannot tell.
Thank God, whatever else may be, for all that Christmas does to me.
Somebody snitched on me. I spilled some ink on Mommy's rug. I made Tommy eat a bug. Bought some gum with a penny slug. Somebody snitched on me. Oh, I'm getting nothing for Christmas. Mommy and Daddy are mad. I'm getting nothing for Christmas. Somebody snitched on me. I did a dance on Mommy's pranks, climbed a tree and tore my pants, filled a sugar bowl with ants. Somebody snitched on me. So I'm getting nothing for Christmas. Mommy and Daddy are mad. I'm getting nothing for Christmas.
The Herdmans were absolutely the worst kids in the history of the world. They lied and stole and smoked cigars and talked dirty and hit little kids and cussed their teachers and set fire to Fred Shoemaker's old broken down tool house. It was a terrific fire. 2 engines and 2 police cars and all the volunteer firemen and 5 dozen donuts sent up from the donut palace. The donuts were supposed to be for the firemen, but by the time they got the fire out, the donuts were all gone. The Herdmans got them. What they couldn't eat, they stuffed in their pockets and down the front of their shirts. The fire chief gave all of us kids a lecture about playing with matches. Turns out, though, the neighbors had been pestering Mr. Shoemaker to do something about the old tool house because it was about to fall down anyway. So they said the fire was a blessing in disguise. My father said it was the only good thing the Herdmans ever did. And if they'd known it was a good thing, they wouldn't have done it at all.
I was always in the same grade with Imogene Herdman, and what I did was stay out of her way. You couldn't do it if you were very pretty, or very ugly, or very smart, or very dumb, or had anything unusual about you like red hair or double-jointed thumbs. But if you were a medium kid like me, you keep your mouth shut. You did okay as far as anyone could tell. Imogene was just like the rest of the Herdmans. She never learned anything either except dirty words and secrets about everybody. We figured they were headed straight to the state prison until they got themselves mixed up with the church and my mother and our Christmas pageant.
When Miss Helen Armstrong fell and broke her leg, my mother was put in charge of the Christmas pageant. Our Christmas pageant is it what you'll call 4-star entertainment. Miss Armstrong breaking her leg was the only exciting thing that ever happened to it. The script is standard. The inn, the stable, the shepherds, the star, and so are the costumes, and so is the casting. Primary kids are angels, intermediate kids are shepherds, big boys are wise men. Elmer Hopkins, the minister's son, has been Joseph for as long as I can remember. And my friend Alice Wendelkin is Mary because she's so smart, so neat and clean, and most of all, so holy looking. All the rest of us are the angel choir, lined up according to height because nobody can sing parts.
But this year was different. My brother Charlie had told the Hermans that there would be cake at the rehearsal, and suddenly they all wanted to be in the Christmas pageant.
I know that many of you would like to be Mary in our pageant, but of course we can only have one Mary. So I'll ask for volunteers and then we'll all decide together which girls should get the part.
That was pretty safe to say, since the only person who ever raised her hand was Alice Willikin, but Alice just sat there chewing on a piece of her hair and looking down at the floor, and the only person who raised her hand this time was Imogen Herman.
Did you have a question, Imogen?
Mother just up.
No, I want to be Mary, and Ralph wants to be Joseph.
Mother just stared at them. She couldn't believe this. What she didn't know was that Imogen had bullied Alice into letting her be Mary, and Elmer Hopkins was relieved he didn't have to be Joseph again. Last year, he had tried to pay Grady Baker 50 cents to be Joseph, and he wouldn't do it. Nobody volunteered to be the wise men either except Leroy, Claude, and Ollie Herdman, so there was my mother stuck of a Christmas pageant full of Herdmans in the main roles.
Some people said it wasn't fair for the whole family who didn't even go to our church to barge in and take over the pageant. My father said somebody better lock up the Women's Society Silver Service. My mother just said she'd rather be in the hospital with Miss Armstrong.
I made up my mind to do the best I could under the circumstances, and now I'm going to make this the very best Christmas pageant ever. Please calm down. You can do this. And I'm going to do it with the Hardmans too. After all, they raised their hand and nobody else did. And that's that. What did I do?
So Mother called the first rehearsal.
Rehearsal, rehearsal.
Everybody shut up right away for fear of missing something awful the Hermans might do. Leroy had already knuckled Charlie behind the ear, and one little girl yelled as went by. But Mother said she was going to ignore everything except blood. And since the little girl wasn't bleeding, and neither was Charlie, nothing happened. Even so, right away, Mother ran into trouble.
Who were the shepherds? Where did they come from? What was the inn? What's an inn? It's like a motel where people go spend the night. What people? Jesus? Oh, honestly, Jesus wasn't even born here. Mary and Joseph went there. Why? What happened first? Begin at the beginning.
The thing was, the Herdmans didn't know anything about the Christmas story. They knew that Christmas was Jesus' birthday, but everything else was news to them. The shepherds, the wise men, the star, the stable, the crowded inn. So Mother said she had better begin by reading the story from the Bible. This was a pain in the neck for most of us because we knew the whole thing backward and forward. As Mother told the story, one of the Herdmans would yell, "What's that?" whenever they didn't understand something.
You mean there wasn't a room in the inn? Not even for Jesus? Well, now, after all, nobody knew the baby was going to turn out to be Jesus. You said Mary knew. Why didn't she tell them? I would have told them. Boy, would I have told them. What was the matter with Joseph that he didn't tell them? Her pregnant and everything. What was that thing like the baby is? The manger? Is that like a bed? Why would they have a bed in the barn? That's just the point. They didn't have a bed in the barn, so Mary and Joseph had to use whatever there was. What would you do if you had a new baby and no bed to put the baby in? We put Gladys in a dresser drawer. Well, there you are. You didn't have a bed for Gladys, so you had to use something else. Mary and Joseph used the manger. A manger is a large wooden feeding trough for animals.
What about the one in a clothes?
The what?
You read about it. They wrapped him up in one of the clothes.
Swaddling clothes. Long ago, people used to wrap their babies very tightly in big pieces of material so they couldn't move around. It made the baby feel cozy and comfortable. Why did Mary get to name the baby? I named him. Joseph didn't name the baby either. God sent an angel to tell him what his name should be. I would have named him Bill. What did the angel do? Just walk up and say, name him Jesus?
Mother was in a hurry to finish, so she said,
Yes!
but then Alice Windlekin had to open her big mouth.
I know what the angel said. She said his name shall be called Wonderful, Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace.
I could have hit her.
My God, he never get out first grade if he had to write on that.
And so it went, Mother telling the story and explaining it to the Herods. They were really interested in Herod. When Mother said that Herod planned to put the baby Jesus to death, Imogen exclaimed,
My God, he just got born. They're already out to kill him.
I figured they were interested in Herod because they liked him. He was so mean they could have been their ancestor, Herod Herman, but I was wrong. They wanted somebody to be Herod so they could beat up on him. I couldn't understand the Herdmans.
During the second rehearsal, Miss McCarthy called the fire department because she smelled smoke in the woman's washroom. It just turned out to be Imogen in the bathroom during a break rehearsal. But while everybody was milling around on the street, the applesauce cake that the ladies on the potluck committee have been making burned up. When Reverend Hopkins heard about the fire, he asked Mother if we should just call the whole thing off. He said the whole church is in an uproar and he didn't think anyone would come to see the pageant. But he was wrong. Everybody came to see what the Herdmans would do.
The night of the pageant, there was a usual big mess all over the place. Baby angels getting poked in the eye by the other baby angels' wings, and grumpy shepherds tripping over their costumes. But everything settled down, and at 7:30 the pageant began.